welcome to my channel. So today we're doing my 2017 beauty favorites, so let's just jump right into it. So last year I didn't try too many different foundations, but I do have some oldie but goodies that I did use throughout the year that I just loved still throughout the year. So first one I wanted to talk about is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I've been using this foundation for years and I've still been loving it. It's really a go-to foundation for me whenever I'm looking for something that is a little bit more long wearing and fuller coverage. This foundation applies beautifully, but then it dries down to a matte finish that lasts for me, and it's really great for my oily skin. So again, I've been loving this one all of last year. And then this one is not so much a foundation, it's a CC cream, but I kind of consider it a foundation just because it is so full coverage. This is my go-to for more of an everyday look. This is the It Cosmetics CC cream. This is really great for everyday wear, but it does have that coverage that I want, so I just can't see myself straying from this anytime soon. My only grunt with this product is that it doesn't come with enough shades. I think it's something really ridiculous, like 3 shades. So I find myself having to mix between the light and the medium shade depending on, most of the time medium works really well for me, but like in the winter months when I get a little bit lighter I have to mix both the shades, which is kind of a little bit of a hassle, but it definitely also needs some darker shades as well because the darkest shade tan, not dark enough. Next, I have 2 concealers that have definitely been holy grails for me throughout 2017. The first one that I have been loving all of last year was the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I feel like everybody's mentioning this concealer in their favorites just because truly it really is an awesome concealer. It applies beautifully, but it also wears beautifully, and it just looks like skin on the skin, and it wears really well, and it gives you that coverage that you want without looking too cakey. I love this for under the eye, but it also works really well for kind of spot concealing. Tarte's also coming out with the foundation that's supposed to go with this concealer, so it's the Shape Tape foundation. I wanted to try it out. It's kind of like one of my things I want to do this year is more foundation reviews, but unfortunately there's so much controversy behind that new launch, and for good reason. Again, it's just not enough shades coming out, so a lot of people are really disappointed, myself included. I feel like 2017 was a really big year for inclusivity with the Fenty Beauty foundation coming out, and the fact that Tarte came out with this pitiful line of shades, it is quite disappointing. I really love this concealer, so I definitely want to give the foundation a try, but I don't know if I will. We'll see. Even though I really enjoyed the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, I did find a kind of dupe for that concealer that's a fraction of the price, and it's so good. This is the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. I'd say this concealer is pretty comparable to the Tarte Shape Tape. Again, it's kind of like that medium to full coverage, but it applies beautifully and just wears beautifully. It sits on my skin really well, and I just really enjoy this concealer. And the fact that it's only $6, you can't beat it. So next I'll talk about a couple more face products. The first has been my go-to bronzer of 2017. I also feel like a lot of people have been mentioning this, again for really good reason, because it really is a really great, really. This is the Marc Jacobs Tantastic bronzer. This bronzer is my everything. For one, the shade of this bronzer is absolutely perfect. I find it to be pretty neutral but a little bit warmer, so it does give you that nice bronzy look. But the reason why I love this bronzer so much is that you honestly cannot overdo this bronzer. Now, bronzer is one of my favorite products to apply, and I admit I can go a little bit overboard sometimes, but I can never go overboard with this bronzer because it's so smooth and silky, but it's also lightweight, and you don't get too much product at one time, so it applies beautifully and it blends beautifully. If I remember correctly, I think this was a limited edition shade, but they do have another shade that's in their permanent line. I don't remember what it's called, but it's in the black packaging. I'm gonna give that one a try just because I really love this one, but I just love the shade of this one, and I think the other one's a little bit darker, but I will give it a try just because I want to find something that's permanent, because I don't want to run out of this ever. It kind of hurts me to mention this just because it was a limited edition product, but I truly have been using this all of 2017, so I definitely wanted to mention it. Now, if you're looking for a bronzer that is a little bit more affordable, actually a lot of bit more affordable, this is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette Contour. It's a weird name, but this is in the shade Dulce de Leche. I think this bronzer came out in 2016 or early 2017, but either way I've been using it all throughout 2017. Honestly, it's a really great bronzer from the drugstore. I think this is a true hit, and I've also hit pan on it, which I never do. I really like the powder side as well, but it's a little bit, the color is off for me. I think it's a little bit too neutral or pinky for me, but I just absolutely love the bronzer. Unlike the Tantastic, the Marc Jacobs Tantastic bronzer, this one is a little bit more It's powderier, so you can pick up a lot more products, so you can go overboard with this one if you aren't applying it too carefully, but the shade of it is really beautiful, so I found myself reaching this one a lot. Next, I have a couple of blushes I want to share with you guys. It's not specifically the shade or the color of the blush, it's more so this line of blushes. These are the Hourglass Ambient Lighting blushes. The Hourglass Ambient Lighting line is really hyped up, but for a good reason. I find that these powders are just really smooth and soft. They apply beautifully and easily, they blend really well, and they just sit on the skin really great. And they have this technology, I guess, that's supposed to reflect light as opposed to just being pigment on the skin. And I don't know, I can't explain it, but it's such beautiful powders, and I'm really interested to try more from their line. I totally forgot to mention this earlier, but I wanted to quickly mention it now. This is the one and only primer that I've been enjoying this past year. This is the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Pore Refiner Primer. I really enjoyed this primer because, again, I do have like oily, acne-prone skin, and this primer is for that type of skin. It helps to mattify my skin, fill in the pores, and it helps my foundation go on a little bit smoother, so I really like this. I also think there's some sort of like skincare in this. I wouldn't say that I've noticed any long-term benefits with this product, but the fact that it instantly can blur, that's a weird word, blur out my pores and just make my makeup last a bit longer, I really like that. I also tried out a bunch of mascaras throughout the year. I'm not quite picky about mascaras. I find that I can usually make any of them work for me as long as they're waterproof, but if I were to choose one mascara that I've been loving throughout 2017, hands down, this is also something I've been enjoying for a really long time. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. I'm pretty sure this is my all-time favorite mascara. I have tried a couple of higher end mascaras that I really liked, but I find that for what they are, I can't see myself spending $20, $30 on mascara when I could go to the drugstore and pick out this beauty. This is literally a treasure for like $6 or $7. This really is my dream mascara. I don't like too clumpy of a mascara look, but this does give me the volume and length that I like, and it holds a curl really well. It's a favorite. Next, I have a couple of eyeshadow palettes. I feel like 2017 warm eyeshadow palettes were huge. Towards the end of the years, I think pops of colors were coming back, but if I were to choose one palette that represented 2017 for me, it would be the Natasha and Denona Sunset palette. Again, it's a beautiful warm tone palette. I feel like in 2017, Natasha and Denona kind of blew up on YouTube, but for good reason. I find that her formula is really incredibly smooth, it's pigmented, easy to blend, it's everything you would want in a palette, and I need more. I feel like this palette was all the rage in 2017, so I'm really happy to finally have my hands on it. Now, obviously, Natasha Denona is a pretty pricey palette, so this one was also pretty hyped up in 2017 for being an affordable dupe for that palette. This is the Colourpop Cute AF palette. Oh wait, I think it's called Yes Please. So it's the Yes Please palette. This is what the palette looks like. Again, it's a lot of the warmer tones that you find in the Sunset palette, but obviously this is a lot more affordable because it is Colourpop, but the tones of these are really pretty. I find that some of the shadows, like the shimmers, are a little bit more chunkier and not as buttery as, say, the Natasha Denona palette, but for the price, what you're getting and the pigment that this has, it really is an incredible palette. I think this may have been limited edition though, so I may be talking about it. So the last things I want to talk about are all of my skincare favorites. I feel like 2017 was a big skincare year for me. I told myself at the beginning of the year I want to focus less on the makeup-y stuff and more on skincare stuff. So I did try out a lot of skincare products last year, but I do have a couple of things that were just complete hits for me, so those are what I'm going to share with you today. Sunday Riley's Luna Oil has been a favorite of mine for a really long time. I still enjoy that product, but I find that the UFO oil is something that is definitely more geared towards my skin type. For the better part of last year, I used a lot of chemical exfoliating products to help get rid of some of my acne scars, so a lot of the times my skin was really kind of dehydrated or dry and flaky, so this product was a lifesaver for me because it is an oil. It's a little bit more moisturizing or hydrating for my skin type, but it also has that salicylic acid in it, so it's not completely a moisturizing oil that will break me out. It has that medication in it to help combat my skin type. Last year I tried out a bunch of different skincare lines, but the one that stood out to me the most was definitely the Drunk Elephant skincare. I'm pretty sure Drunk Elephant is my new holy grail skincare. This is the one of the few product lines that I've found myself repurchasing the products. This is a really great product to help my skin look a little bit more alive in the mornings. It definitely does help to brighten, and I think that it helps protect my skin from kind of the nastiness that is in the air. I am a commuter, so I do spend a lot of time out on the road driving, so I like to know that I have a kind of like a shield. I find that this product is almost like a shield to keep the good in and the bad out for my skin. And then at night I like to go in with their TLC Framboos Glycolic Night Serum. So this is a 12% AHA/BHA blend serum. So this is really great for kind of chemical exfoliating the skin. I find this really great to help keep my acne prone skin in check, especially blackheads. With this product I noticed I'm not getting as many blackheads, and it's also helping to get rid of some of the milia I have on my skin. So this is really a holy grail product for me. I've already repurchased this, really love it. And then this next product is kind of like the Framboos but a little kick stronger. This is the TLC Sukari Babyfacial. This is like the Framboos but it's a little bit more stronger, so I only use this one say once or twice a week. Usually twice, because I love it so much. It really does give your skin baby-like texture when you take this mask off. I think the reason why I love these two so much is because I have used AHAs in the past and I find that it's really irritating to my skin. It almost stings or burns, but with these I don't get that feeling at all. But I get the results that I want. It's so good. So this next product I've also been using to help get rid of acne scars, but this one is a little bit more affordable. I think this is drugstore, Nip and Fab. I think that's drugstore. But this is the Glycolic Fix Night Pads in the Extreme. So this is a chemical exfoliating peel pad. Also been really helping get rid of my acne scars and some of that milia. So if you're looking for something a little bit more affordable, I think this is a really great option. So that's it for this favorites video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I've also been using up some new things lately that I want to mention in a later video. So I'm thinking for the new year, I might start doing monthly favorites. So if you're interested in that, then definitely subscribe, stick around, come join the family. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye!